Welcome to The Gorgeous Effect, the podcast that's about to rock your marketing world. I'm Julie Chanel, and with my co-founder, Kathy Olson, we're the masterminds behind Funnel Gorgeous and FG Funnels. We're about to drop some serious tea on how to create funnels that not only look amazing, but actually convert into customers. We'll chat mouth-watering offers, copy, design, and give you an inside look of some of our best and worst funnels. No smoke and mirrors, just real strategies that work from two ladies who have been around the funnel block. So grab your coffee or something stronger, we won't judge, and get ready to unleash the gorgeous effect on your business. It's time to show the world what you've got. Let's do this. Hey everyone, it's Julie and Kathy. We're back with another episode of The Gorgeous Effect. Today, let's talk about doing webinars when you have a small or no audience. Womp, womp, womp. Before we dive into this, just want to say, if you are a customer of Funnel Gorgeous, if you have an FG Funnels account, you have access to the best audience building challenge ever at Audience Builder. It's Audience Builder Challenge, right?
Yes.
.com. I was like, all of a sudden I panicked. I was like, is that the link? So be sure to check that out because it's free. It's 14 days. It helps you build your audience. You need an audience in 2025. Don't forget. So small audience live webinars. Do you remember the first time you did a live webinar?
Ooh, I don't know.
Wasn't it Inspired Pro? Wasn't that the first one you did?
It was the first good one I did. Because I did a lot. I failed a lot before that. So, yeah, probably. Yeah. That was like that was definitely the first like official one where I actually had people coming. But I was, I had you in my corner, so I don't know how scary it was because like when you have like the best of the best, like cheering you on. I felt pretty good about it. But I do remember thinking that it was so heavily scripted. It felt weird. That was really awkward for me, I think. Having everything you say and then I do remember getting super nervous at the pitch.
Yeah.
Like lump in my throat. Like all of a sudden I felt like I was talking, my voice got shaky, that whole thing. I don't remember how many people were on it or anything. But also there's that moment of like, is anyone going to show up? And then you open the room and you're like, is anyone coming? And then people come and you're like, okay, there's one person here. Whew, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. So we want to talk about webinars if you don't have a big audience, because the large majority of the people who follow us have small audiences. So we're talking, 2,000 people or less. And I would like to create a reframe that the worst position you could possibly push yourself in is waiting to do a webinar once you have a bigger audience. You say, I'll do a webinar when I have an audience. That to me is hella more scary than doing a webinar with no audience. And I'm about to make my case, and hopefully I will convince you.
Well, I definitely did have an audience. I mean,
I know. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, which made it scarier. But again, I did have you in my corner. So there's that. But yes, I agree. It was a lot of pressure.
Yes. Because prior to you doing your first, let's say, good webinar, you had been running a PLM funnel and you had built this huge audience, right? And then when you did your webinar, you didn't run ads to it, but you had this audience, right? And so there was a lot of pressure, which explains why you were terrified at the pitch and you couldn't swallow, right?
And it was a big price difference, huge price difference. So that was freaking scary as heck. But yeah, you're totally right. That was worse.
Yes.
I think I would have been, it was almost like, okay, one person joined and then it was like 10, 20, crap. Oh my gosh, wait.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good for conversion rates, but it's like, this is my first time doing it. And then I'm doing it I'm failing in front of everyone. Great.
Yeah. All right. So here's why. I mean, obviously, Kathy's kind of making the case, but if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there, did it ever make a sound, right? We always say that as kids. When you start doing webinars, you will suck at them, right? It's just human nature. It takes a while. Like anything, you first build a funnel, you first do a podcast. Your first couple rounds aren't super amazing, right? It takes a while. I would say the average length of time it takes someone to practice a webinar and get really good at pitching if they're not a natural salesperson is somewhere between 3 and 6 months of doing a webinar at least twice a month. So And most people quit way before this. And this is why they think webinars are dead or they don't work. And they're literally sleeping on the best, most leverageable sales asset you can do. So the idea is that if you could do a webinar and your first 12 webinars have at most 20 people in them, you have multiple times that you can fail or not do perfectly and not feel like you ruined your shot at making money with webinars. Because if you go into a webinar and there's 10 people there and maybe you get one or two sales, you're rocking a 10 to 20% conversion rate, and only 10 people saw the complete tech mess up that you did. Right? Versus you spend all this money or you have this big audience and you have 5,000 people registered and you don't do that pitch well, and you've just wasted the attention of 5,000 registrants. I mean, I do not want that pressure. So I think that developing the webinar skills actually works better when you have no audience and you just run a little bit of ads each week. You get these little audiences and each week you get to practice and get better and better before you turn on the big guns. That's I don't know. Did I convince you?
Yes, but also because you don't want to burn the audience either, right? So like
Right.
so for example, if you do have that 5,000, you got one shot. And if you screw this up, they're never gonna like hear from you. Like they're like unsubscribing, like this
I know.
person's full of crap, like whatever. Like they're never gonna you're never gonna get a chance to make that first impression again. So like it's
Right.
almost better to have several like little ones, not almost better. I mean like several chances with your audience, right? So like even if you do okay, you're doing them like every week, then you do three of them or something, like a series of three to split those audiences up too, right? Because again, then you have more time to practice in between, but then also like you're kind of dripping that out as you know, so you're not like burning your whole audience. Okay, cool. You had one chance to show up because like because that's the thing too. It's like not every time is going to work for so many people, so they
Yeah.
might really be interested, but it doesn't work. So like even just the you doing it more often and not just the one time is helpful in lots of different ways, not just the practicing
Yeah.
part, but also giving people more chances to join so you don't just burn out just the one time fizzle and burn, you know?
Yeah. It's like any habit, doing it in small bits with more consistency matters, right? The other thing is from a tech perspective, if you are a solopreneur, you are managing the recording, the slides, the chat, the links. You have any more than 30 people, it gets hard to manage. We are
Mhm.
used to running classes and webinars with, anywhere from 100 to 300 people. And we have four team members usually on there. There's the two of us. And if I'm teaching, Kathy's in the chat. Kathy's teaching, I'm in the chat. Then we have two administrative type folks from our company that can handle customer service requests, people emailing, my link doesn't work, or, whatever that happens to be. Or we'll say, hey, you know what, we need to find something. If you're managing more than 30 people in a webinar, like that's the tech can be a little stressful. Plus, you got to have a bigger plan on Zoom. And so there's a lot of reasons that small webinar repetition makes more sense. And, I was just on a call with some big players, right? So I'm in this club with like 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs, and they were asking like, what's the best lead magnet? What's the best lead magnet? Really, the consensus is the webinar is still the single most leverageable lead magnet you have because it grows an audience and sells an offer and educates your audience in one shot. And so if you're thinking, oh, I'll do a webinar once I have 5,000 people on my list, rethink that because it would be better to do it with 50 or 100 people and slowly grow your audience with the webinar at the same time.
Yeah, because the cool thing about changing the webinar as you go is that you are getting live feedback. Like sometimes I've noticed like if we do like a live training or teaching or webinar, sometimes the chat will go off on something. And then it's
Yes.
like, like it'll get away
Like
from you,
side
especially
quest.
yeah, like a little side quest. And then it's like, okay, well, the next time we do it, we're gonna like maybe talk about that in the beginning so we don't side quest people, right? So like there's things that you can feed off of or learn from, I guess is what I mean, and to optimize it so that the things don't go away from you, or people don't like, and especially, or even questions, right? Some people will have
Yep.
several of the same question. Well, next time, just answer the question before they even ask it. I mean, because that is the best scenario. If I am watching something and I think of a question, and you do this all the time when you're live training, but like I like a question will pop up in my head and you'll be like, I wonder if you're wondering, blah blah blah, and you say it, and I'm like, she gets me, like when
Yep.
people answer your question before you even have it, it's pretty amazing, and it feels like you really understood, you're taken care of. So like that, their only way to learn that is through repetition. Really, like
Yeah.
doing it, messing up, having people ask the question, and then going, oh, okay, well that's a question that people are having, or that's an objection people are having, and then you just crush that objection before it even freaking comes up. They're like, oh yeah, that's right. I didn't even have that objection yet, but I was probably would have. And so I think it's really cool to be able to tweak it and test it live, like in real time, and make it like the best it can possibly be by the end. And then by the time like you've ran it like your 10th or whatever time, it's like money, right? It's like you're saying it so well, you're coming across everything, you're hitting all the objections, like it's just a really powerful tool at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So I think everyone who's, sitting around going, how do I build my audience? How do I do high revenue generating activities? The answer is webinars because it's tackling so many things in one activity, and I remember when I was buying life insurance, the cash value, and I remember talking to the life insurance guy, and I was like, I don't understand why this is cool. And he's like, your money's doing so many things at once. Like it's, saving you on taxes, it's private, it's borrowable, it's compounding, right? He was listing like four things, and he was like, you could put your money in here, 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 or here, and it'll do one of those things, maybe two of those things. Oh yeah, it's providing a death benefit too. So it was like my money was doing five things at once. And so I was like, well, this is a no brainer. And so I think the webinar is the same thing. Like if you have limited time and resources and money, webinar is doing multiple things at once. It's getting you in front of an audience, it's building an audience, it's getting you better at sales skills, it's creating education around your market demand, and it's generating revenue. So it's like,
Yeah, you
why
don't have
wouldn't
to
you do
sell
that?
as many people, right? When you have like a higher ticket offer or even mid
Right.
ticket, like you only need a few people to buy, like, right? And also, even if no one buys on the first time or whatever, like just fix it and run it again. Like I think it's such a forgiving format
Yeah.
because of that, right? Like you could kind of screw it up with small audiences and just fix it and just run it again, and then those audiences will buy or whatever, or a few people buy. But you don't even need that many people to buy. You also really shortcut a lot of marketing that you would have had to do, or nurturing, or beliefs, or whatever. Like they could go from, I don't even know who the heck this person is, but I'm kind of interested, so like let me give them a couple minutes and see what they have to say, to like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, this is exactly what I need, bought. Like, and
Yep.
there's nothing else that can do that. So I agree with you. It's a very high leverage thing, and it has been and it will be. And but audience, not having an audience is not a good reason. So now, like, we officially agree that's not an excuse anymore.
It's not. No. So if you're interested in doing a live webinar and kind of learning the process of how to create a presentation, how to build the funnel, just head over to launchgorgeous.com. And there are going to be two ways to build a webinar with us. The first is through our live experience, and that launches March 24th. So if you go to launchgorgeous.com, you can get on the wait list. If you are listening to this podcast and it's past March 24th, we have these 2-day accelerators. And what happens is once our live experience is done, we give you access to a 2-day accelerator where you can work on the curriculum in replay format and try to get out the door. So no matter what, if you go to launchgorgeous.com, you'll be able to sign up or reserve your spot for an accelerator and get that live webinar presentation going. It's actually one of the easier funnels, if you can believe it. Some of the other funnels are more complex. This one's really not. We spend a lot of time building that presentation. So if you know Canva or Google Slides, you can do this.
And we are also doing it kind of Inception style because we're doing a live webinar on live webinars.
We
So
are
if you want to come on the 23rd, we're going to be doing a live webinar on live webinars. It's going to be very, very meta. Wow, wow,
very meta.
wow.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, hopefully we have made a case, and regardless of your audience size, you are ready to use the most high leverage activity that you can. And we will see you soon. So thanks so much. Talk soon.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We're just getting started with this podcast, and we're so excited to have you on this journey with us. If you found value in today's episode, we'd be over the moon if you'd consider subscribing. It's like a virtual high five that keeps us going. And hey, if you're feeling extra gorgeous, leaving a review would mean the world to us. Your words not only make our day, but it also helps other amazing folks just like you find our show through your review. Lastly, if you know someone who could use a little sales pep talk, why not spread the love? Share this episode and let's grow this gorgeous community together.